3 objects, each more interesting than the last. So this is a straw. It's a clear straw, it can be borrowed. This is a simple playing card, except it has a hole running straight through the top. The last object is the most interesting. It's a playing card that has 2 holes in it, one here, but it also has 2 windows, one there and one here. When folded up, the 2 holes align perfectly, and the 2 windows allow you to see straight into the center of the card. You can probably already start to piece together what's about to happen. I'm going to take the card with a hole in it and place it right into the center of the 2 cards, just like this. You should now be able to see all the way around. The card is locked inside. The final thing we need to do is line up the holes so they're perfectly in place for the straw to then lock everything together. Okay? Just like that. Now watch. You can see all the way around. Watch the card. 3, 2. Just like that, look. You can see the card with a hole in it is intact. The lock-in mechanism is intact. And the card with the 2 holes and the 2 windows is also intact. So, if you don't know how it works, this is the secret. This is how you perform it. The cool thing is this hole is real and there's no secret trapdoor or gimmicks around it. All the dirty work is at the bottom of the card and on the back, which is well camouflaged because of the design. So as long as you hold the card like this and cover the bottom, which is not interesting or important, they can have a really good HD look at that hole and see nothing tricky going on. I begin by displaying the card that way. I then let them look at this card and this straw, paying appropriate attention to each object for the audience. Then I fold the card up with the windows pointing towards them, and I show them this card. At the last minute, I turn around, back facing towards the audience, and place it in the center. Okay, that just doesn't give them much of a time to spot any of this. That goes in here. I can now turn this all the way around, and because everybody's looking at the bottom, nobody looks at the top where the slit could be. All right, and you're really well covered. The way this works is that the straw never goes through the hole. What's secretly happening is that the hole is being slid out of the way. So when the straw goes through both sides of the card, it never actually goes through the hole itself. Then, when you pull the card up, the hole goes back into position. So to do that, you just need to set this up right in front of their faces. The card's in here, with the hole pointing down. You push down on the card, making sure the edges don't flare out. So you push down and use your thumbs to slide the card up, which will move the hole out of the way. And then I pull the hole up and into position, okay, or the apparent hole. From the front, you want to make sure that you don't expose anything so they can see that there's no border, all right? The good tip here is to cover the hole at the front whilst you're doing all of this. All right. Then once everything's in position, you squeeze tight and place the straw through. Okay. If you do have any edges coming to the side, you can actually use your ring finger to push against it and squeeze. It looks like you're just holding the card, but actually it's allowing you to square everything up. What's cool is that at this point, I quickly flash like this, back and forth like in the performance. Because everybody's looking at the straw going through the card, nobody looks at the top, so no one really notices. When I'm ready to do the effect, I grip just the single layer of card with my thumb and index finger, and as I pull up, I release tension on everything, and it comes clean. Now, they see this from the front, so you don't want to give them a good view, but because they've seen the back, you're now going to be fair and also show them the front. And you can just turn it around, grabbing the edges of the card and letting them stare at that hole until they are happy that there's no subterfuge going on. Once you've done that, if you have a deck in play, you can drop this card on top of the deck and let them examine these two objects. And what I've got actually here is a deck of cards that's half face down, half face up, and on the bottom of the deck, I can have a duplicate King of Spades with a red back and a hole in it if I wish, so that when I drop the card on the deck nonchalantly, they're already convinced this card is normal. I pay a lot of attention to these, saying these two objects are normal. I first of all hand them the straw. I wait for them to put the straw down. I then hand them this card, and as they take this card from me, I simultaneously pick up the deck, but sort of like in the background of their concentration, and I hand them this card, and I just turn the deck over, switching king for king, because this is the regular king. Remember to put a hole in it and have a matching back. But as they take this card from me, they can't focus on two things at once, and all their focus will be on here. I just pick this up, and I can hand and switch that king out, dropping the deck down, and now everything is completely clean and examinable.